Let me begin by thanking the IPA, Mr. Sudarshan Jain, Mr. Shirish Pradapure, Mr. Rajiv Desai, my colleagues and friends from the industry, to give me this opportunity to speak on IPA forum. I'm really honored and privileged. So I will start with my presentation, and in the next 30 minutes, I'm going to talk about the revised Schedule M, that is the current hot topic in Indian pharma. We all are engaged on this topic throughout the last 1 year, and I'm going to give my views on how Schedule M is driving regulatory harmonization and bringing India on par with the global expected standards. So to begin with, the revised Schedule M, in my opinion, redefines GMP compliance as a transformative step toward achieving quality excellence through the implementation of a pharmaceutical quality system. In fact, it's a significant step forward to reach from the basic GMP to the desired state of adoption of PPS. This much anticipated revision aligns with India's objective of maintaining its predominant position in the global pharma market while continuing to serve patients worldwide. As you can see from the first slide, I have depicted the journey from GMP to PQS as moving to the desired state. And we certainly have come a long way from where we started to the desired state of adoption of pharmaceutical quality system. Can I have the next slide, please? Yes. So India's position worldwide is known to us, and I just want to recap with a single small slide just to remind ourselves that 1 in 5 pills used worldwide is from India, 2 in 3 vaccines. We have the highest number of GMP certified facilities outside of US and Europe in India. And despite that, we are most affordable in terms of the cost. So this is the position of India. Next. And we know our responsibilities, and as I have seen the journey of Indian pharma from last several decades, 4th decade, this is a 40th year, I've seen that the industry is continuously evolving to meet the ever-increasing demands of the international market. India is poised to become a 150 billion industry by 2030, and by 2047, a 500 billion industry, and we are really on that path. So the upgradation of the India's revised Schedule M is a moment of pride and progress for the Indian pharmaceutical sector and demonstrates our unwavering dedication to patient safety and welfare. Next slide, please. Yes, the Schedule M invites us to embrace a more holistic and proactive approach to quality management, encompassing the entire product life cycle. It is not about revised GMP standards. I have always maintained that we are the third largest manufacturer of the world, supplied to 220 countries of the world. Obviously, we know the basics of GMP very well and have been practicing very well. What has happened now in the form of revised Schedule M is that we are now on the path of creating and implementing a pharmaceutical quality system for a sustainable and scalable compliance with the GMPs. Mark these two words. GMP compliance, we always did well, that's why we're here. But how to make it sustainable under ever-changing dynamic situations around us, and how to make it scalable, because we have grown fast and we have a big ambitious plan of going to the next levels I mentioned a while ago. So to make it sustainable and scalable, what we needed was the new tool, and that is the revised Schedule M, and that takes us from GMP to PQS. Next, please. So the foundation of Schedule M, the globally harmonized PQS, is the foundation of Schedule M. It represents a significant leap forward, harmonizing Indian pharmaceutical manufacturing practices with internationally accepted quality systems, and reinforces our commitment to quality safety and excellence. The harmonization will obviously bring many benefits, such as provides India a competitive advantage in the global supply chain, enhance product quality, safety, and efficacy, improve access to global markets, and build confidence and trust in our medicines. Next, please. Yeah. I would like to slightly reflect back and dwell on the journey that we had, mine and industries and my colleagues from GMP to PQS. The transition from basic GMP compliance to the implementation of a comprehensive pharmaceutical quality system has been a significant and challenging journey, especially given the vastness and diversity of the Indian pharmaceutical landscape. Along the way, we have encountered a couple of unpleasant surprises in the form of regulatory actions, and these, in my opinion, have been adaptive challenges for which India was ever ready, and it continues to move on that path forward. These experiences, though difficult, provided valuable opportunities to identify and address blind spots in our understanding of GMP, product quality, and compliance. Blind spots that I'm going to deal in a couple of more slides. As you can see on this slide, in the year 2019, I was invited to speak on a topic of developing India as a global outsourcing base for manufacturing. And in my understanding and wisdom, knowing where the industry stood then, I knew that there are a couple of things that India has to focus on, and two important aspects of that I'll highlight here, which is a kind of situation we are already in. Introduction of companies' quality management system consistent with global regulatory requirements and customer expectation was one of the key drivers identified by me then, and adopting quality systems and risk-based approach for implementation of GMPs. And it is so satisfying to see that in the form of reversible M, this has become our national regulatory requirement. Next slide, please. And what will the challenges? I'm just trying to introspect for a while to understand. It's not the criticism, but this is a global phenomenon. When we move from a stage of GMP to system, it is a transformative change. And as I said earlier, considering the vastness and scale of the Indian industry, it would certainly take time. So there were few blind spots which we have faced and have overcome in phases, and it continues to still remain as an issue of concern when you go to the different sectors of our industries. Therefore, I'm presenting this as a general thought for all of us to follow and what brought us here. So our blind spots about GMP are like we have skewed perceptions of GMP, as I said. We have been focusing on short-term compliance-oriented issues for GMPs, and we did not ever realize GMP as a comprehensive quality system that we need to follow. So here, metaphorically, the elephant shown in the room and six blind men. So we always struggle in understanding GMP well in the initial phases, and we focus now things which are required to be short-term and of immediate concern. So although we know what GMP is, I say here that we need to be reminded more than they need to be instructed. And so this journey continued. We kept on reminding ourselves that we are on the right path, but we have to move towards the PQs. Next one, please. GMP, as the name suggests, is the practice, and practices are followed by tradition. However, practice is known while why is rarely known. And we always believe, because GMP certification is the gateway to entry to the markets. So obviously focus went there. So what regulators expected became our requirement. GMP certification plus marketing authorization put together gave permission for us to enter to the market, and we believe we achieved product quality. These were the blind spot we went through, we continue to go through. So if we have to get over this, we have to focus more on the behavioral aspects than technical aspects, and these challenges have been adaptive challenges, and we are constantly improving on this path. Next, please. I've been speaking on this one topic of adoption of pharmaceutical quality system and considering pharmaceutical quality system as the philosophy behind the good manufacturing practice. We can never ever consider GMP as a oversimplistic requirement of meeting with somebody's expectations. Compliance, when we say, as defined, is meeting somebody's expectations, and it is not something voluntary. So we started from that phase, and we're always focusing on finding simple solutions for GMP. Pharmaceutical industry out of four systems, simple systems, complicated systems, complex systems, and chaotic systems, happens to be complex industry. And in complex industry, we need to have a systems approach for solving problems. Therefore, I quote a phrase, the only problems that are simple solutions are simple problems. And our industry being complex, we needed to focus on higher order of thinking, higher order of consciousness, and move from GMP to systems. So I spoke on several forums, and the key topic all the time I was speaking was adoption of pharmaceutical quality system for implementation of GMPs, which would make it sustainable and scalable. Next, please. So we started from understanding quality by when we determine quality by testing to inspection-oriented risk covers compliance, move to assurance of consistent quality, safety, and efficacy, and have now come to the stage of adoption of pharmaceutical quality system, which is the foundation for consistent and scalable compliance of the GMPs. Next, please. Next slide. Yes. So this approach of adoption of a system for pharmaceutical industry aligns with the global quality system thinkers. And Deming is one person who is well-known system thinker of the world. He very famously said, 94% of the business problems are problems in business are system-driven and only 6% of people-driven. So adoption of a quality system-based and risk-based approach for a sustainable and scalable GMP compliance is the way forward, and we really have moved to that stage. Next, please. Now, coming to revised schedule M, in one sentence, I could explain that pharmaceutical quality system is the foundation of the revised schedule M. The journey that I spoke very briefly so far, that moving from GMP compliance to adoption of the quality system reflects our industry's resilience and commitment to adopting a system-based approach, aligning with global standards, and reinforcing India's leadership in the pharmaceutical body. Now, in this part, I'm very quickly going to take you through the new clauses that got introduced in the revised schedule M and how they are aligned with the global pharmaceutical quality system expectations. Next, please. So, at a very high level, few changes I wanted to bring to your notice. The clauses which are highlighted in green are the new clauses first time being introduced. So you'll see the first one that tops the list is pharmaceutical quality system, quality risk management, good manufacturing practices for pharmaceutical products, complaints, adverse reaction, product recalls, they are upgraded, therefore are shown in orange, and again, change control, production under low license and complaint, and contact analysis and other activities. These are new chapters, new clauses introduced in the schedule M. Next slide, please. Can you move to the next slide, please? Materials, refer to standards, best materials, and then good practices in production, good practices in quality control, computerized systems. They have been upgraded substantially to bring the elements of the global pharmaceutical quality system in the revised schedule. I'm going to touch upon few important areas of schedule M to explain what is to be expected from our industry and where do we stand at the moment. So can we take it to next slide, please? So the first and foremost change that has happened in the schedule M is pharmaceutical quality system, the clause 1. Design and implementation of a PQS incorporating GMP and QM. So the PQS that is here applies to the product life cycle and includes in its scope GMP and quality risk management. It is a wide-ranging concept concerning all matters that individually or collectively influence the quality of a products. So many aspects of pharmaceutical manufacturing that would fall outside of the quality responsibility through pharmaceutical quality system have been brought into under the umbrella of GMP. The manufacturer must assume responsibility for the quality of the pharmaceutical products. To achieve this quality objective, reliably, there must be a comprehensively designed and correctly implemented pharmaceutical quality system incorporating GMPs and risk management. I'm highlighting few parts of the clauses for your understanding. Next, please. Yeah. Quality management, since it applies to the product life cycle, therefore includes product design and development in its scope and applies to life cycle stages of manufacture of investigation medicine products, technology transfer, commercial manufacturing until the product discontinuation. Next slide, please. One important aspect of the pharmaceutical quality system is the senior management responsibility. I'm going to speak about this in my last part of the presentation. So it is important to know that senior management has the ultimate responsibility to ensure that an effective pharmaceutical quality system is in place, is adequately resourced, and that roles, responsibilities, and authorities are defined. Basically, an environment is created by the senior management that is conducive to implementation of a pharmaceutical quality system. Now, this is something substantially different than the existing Schedule M, which only focus on the elements of good manufacturing practices to be implemented. How to go about it, how to make it sustainable, how to adopt a new approach where senior management leads this initiative is the new learning that is coming through the revised schedule. Next slide, please. Another important aspect. So I just touched upon what PQS is all about in its scope and how senior management is responsible and has to take the leadership initiative to initiate a system within the company, which is implemented on an ongoing basis. Certain other important elements of this PQS are product quality system, product realization. In my opinion, this is one of the significant introductions of new concept of understanding product quality differently. Until now, we always believe that quality of the product is tested by determined by testing. But going beyond that, it suggests that it is a concept of realization of product quality by designing, qualifying, planning, implementing, maintaining, and continuously improving a system that allows the consistent delivery of the products. So it is not about how to manufacture good quality products, how to determine quality by testing, but it's about creating a system that allows delivery of these attributes on its own. And therefore, it says that pharmaceutical products are designed and developed in a way that takes into account the requirements of GMP and other GXPs, such as those of good laboratory practices and good clinical practices. So focus is there on design of product quality. Next, please. As you will realize, this statement is out of the presentation of my guru, Mr. R.S. Iyer. Several years ago, he always maintained that assurance of the product quality is built on the solid foundation of the product design. In other words, even before the manufacturing happens, the safety, efficacy, and stability of a product must be unambiguously established during design. So therefore, GMP without product quality is futile. By the same token, a well-designed product can be ruined if GMP is not followed. It only means that product design and GMPs, they go hand in hand. And this is the key change in the present Schedule M, that there is a significant focus on design of product quality. And as we're going to see in the upcoming slides, it is about the product and process control as well. Next slide, please. So if you develop a product, it has to be seamlessly taken to the site through a robust structure of technology transfer. What is easy is hard. Someone said a lot of what is easy to do in a lab setting is hard to do in a large scale manufacturing setting. So it means unless you have got a well-designed product that keeps into mind, like it is developed by a concept of QBD that keeps into mind the scalability of the product, the manufacturability of the product at its commercial scale, only and only then you'll be able to take the product to commercial scale. And therefore, to handle the technology transfer challenges, you have to have a lot of information regarding the prior art of the design and the scale-up. Absence of data leads to assumptions, and that leads to failures at the site. So there is a focus on technology transfer after the product is developed by following the QBD principles. Next, please. This is another important aspect of the revised scheduling, product and process monitoring. As we get into commercial manufacturing, lot of data gets generated. This data has to be monitored well, or results taken into account in batch release, in the investigation of deviations, and with a view to taking preventive actions to avoid potential deviations. Basically, it's talking about good monitoring of product and processes, keeping all the data available, analyze it statistically, and learn from the data available from the process monitoring. That will help you to continually improve your products and processes. So this is another important aspect in the UI scheduling. Next, please. This is a very important slide I brought that shows the linkage. We are talking about the harmonization of Schedule M, and several elements are there in the revised Schedule M that are aligned with the global pharmaceutical quality system. I have taken the objectives of the PQS ICH-Q10 here in this slide to explain what I mean. You saw the product realization slide couple of slides before. This is the requirement of product realization in ICH-Q10. In my opinion, this is a new aspirational definition of product quality, going much beyond testing, to establish, implement, and maintain a system that allows the delivery of products with the quality attributes appropriate to meet the needs of patients, healthcare professionals, regulatory authorities, and other internal and external customers. So basically, you believe that you achieve the product quality only when you are fulfilling the expectations of all the stakeholders who design, develop, and use the product. So this is the new definition of product realization, and definitely starts on the very strong foundation of the design of product quality. Establish and maintain a state of control and facilitate continual improvement. These are the three key objectives of the PQS. The proposed Schedule M is aimed at achieving these objectives. Next slide, please. I'm going to touch a couple of other important elements of the revised Schedule M, and the most important being management review. This was something that was missing. How do you assure yourselves that you have a sustainable, scalable, and ongoing GMP compliance happening in your organization? You have created a facility, you have created GMP rules, you have SOPs, and now you have created a system. So one important part of the system is review. So Schedule M suggests that there shall be periodic management reviews with the involvement of senior management of the operation of the product quality system to identify opportunities for continual improvement of products, processes, and the system itself. It's a very important statement that management has a responsibility to create a system, and it has the responsibility to personally monitor by themselves and through a leadership team created by the management on an ongoing basis the performance of the product, process, and the system. Such reviews shall include discussions on key elements of quality system, including trends of deviations, change control system, quality risk management, complaints, product quality reviews, training, key employee changes, variations to process and test methods. You can see that the host of items, which are brought in now in the purview of Schedule M as key elements of the quality system that come under the responsibility of the management to ensure that the system that they create provides for this kind of review and that allows them to continue the improvement the systems and processes. Next, please. Next slide, please. Product quality review. Yeah, similar to this is product quality review, PQR, where we review the product quality by verifying several aspects from material control to process control to facility to equipment to vendor to regulatory compliance. So it's a very comprehensive review of the product quality to see whether you need any upgrade to the process or you need any revision to a specification. So basically, it assures you through the PQR that the systems, the process as well as the specifications are applicable and they are reliable even to them. Another aspect is risk management. Quality risk management is a systematic process for the assessment, control, communication, and review of risks to the quality of the medicine product. It can be applied both proactively and retrospectively. Quality risk management shall ensure that evaluation of the risk to the quality is based on scientific knowledge, experience with the process, and ultimately links to the protection of the patient. Can you go to next slide, please? This is, of course, the ISIS 29 we have been following for decades now. What is important for me is the QRM should be seen as more than just following the SOPs. It is not SOP, it is a way of the life, the way of thinking. Limiting it to checklist approach misses the true purpose. Instead, QRM needs to be embraced across the entire organization as a way of thinking, guiding every decision and process to ensure quality, minimize risk. It is not about justifying your processes, but it is finding an opportunity to improve. And therefore, in the last box of the slide, I read, we know how we assess our QRN based on the probability, detectability, and severity, and assign various priority number. But there is something hidden that is that is our attitude and approach towards management of quality. The attitude is good, approach is good, then our risk assessment will be good, and it is one of the very, very important tools that is available to us to follow to remain in the state of compliance. Next, please. And there is an added advantage of this that I have realized in my experience of last 1.5 decades, is that this, in my opinion, is a trust enabler between the industry and the regulators. The industry and the agencies world over are moving towards the desired state of continuous improvement and expect a good manufacturer to adopt the risk-based approach voluntarily. The system of risk-based inspections has been adopted globally, where the manufacturers are required to submit a GMP compliance report in advance that will be verified during the plant inspection. So it basically allows you to do your own assessment, present it to the inspectors before the inspection, and get it verified. So you become part of the process of assessing your own compliance alongside the regulators, and you go hand in hand. So such of those companies who have achieved the maturity in understanding how to risk assess their processes when everything looks good are always on a learning curve of maturity, and they're ahead of the rest of the people. So I think this is one very important key enabler of the pharmaceutical quality system, along with knowledge management. Just to summarize here, what I spoke is that the revised schedule has a focus on two aspects: knowledge management of the product and the process, ability to risk assess those systems and processes, and reviewing them through management review. To summarize what we spoke until now, the focus is on creating a quality system, focusing on design of the product, monitoring the product and processes very well through several tools available, and ultimately continuously performing a risk assessment of your activities and identify risk in advance to be able to implement the preventive measures within the company. And this is something that will definitely build trust of the industry with the regulators. Next, please. So to close the scheduling part, the present schedule in letter and spirit truly aligns itself with the global regulatory harmonization and brings these three things together: Q8, Q9, Q10. Q8 that focuses on product design, design space concepts, also includes within it the technology transfer, the seamless transfer of technology to the manufacturing site using risk-based approach and following a quality system that is known to us as ISO and the systems approach by US FDA. So in summary, we are definitely at a stage where our regulation is harmonized with the global regulation. Many of the industries, companies within our industries are already there. They're very familiar. It is now, particularly when we talk of Schedule M, we are talking about the medium and small sector of the Indian pharma, which has to move forward to adopt the newer concepts of following the pharmaceutical quality system. I've always mentioned this as a philosophy behind the practice. So how to learn the new philosophies is the path forward for the medium and small sector. And since we're talking of harmonization, I would like to spend a couple of minutes more on what we as IDMA and several other associations, including IPS, today's function, as well as other sister associations like Hope and all, we're together in really welcoming the revised Schedule M and making sure that it is taken to its logical conclusion that the industry sooner than later moves to adoption of these standards. So what we are doing along with the drug regulators is something I want to spend another 10 minutes in the last part of my presentation. Next slide, please. Yeah, IDMA CDCO collaboration and the role of senior management. This is something for me, what is the most important thing for Indian industry to focus today is on understanding what is the role of senior management in quality. Although they are not directly responsible for quality function, it is they who will decide the culture of the company. It is they who will decide the path forward in creating the pharmaceutical quality system that is normal, easy, rewarding, agile, flexible, and contemporary, creating a second level leadership that has an ability to take the system forward and creating systems and processes that will sustain this PQS. So let me focus on in my last part on these two aspects. Next slide, please. So role of regulators and industry. When we talk of harmonization, I'm very happy to state that we have been doing many programs with CDSO, and we find there is a substantial change in the approach of the regulators towards the new expected schedule M. The traditional thinking versus new paradigm is what I'm slightly presenting here. Industry and regulators, the old ways that they went together and both were, trying to focus on regulatory compliance. It is a compliance-driven behavior. From there, we moved to industry plus regulators together based on the mutual trust and keeping patient safety in mind. We're doing something different and better for patient benefit. And this is patient-focused behavior. And I'm very happy to state that this is something we see happening in last several years. My colleagues who are in this platform, they themselves are part of this process. And this is an extremely good sign for Indian pharma industry, including the small and medium sector, to take opportunity of this new paradigm shift that is there in our thinking as an industry and the regulators together, and utilize the opportunity to take our GMP compliance to the next level. Next couple of slides, please. We at IDMA have been focusing on this much expected Schedule M right from 2015, and we did year-long programs along with the DOP with the title GMP Workshop for SMEs, Schedule M and Beyond. So the concept of going beyond mere GMP compliance, and there is something more for us to do. We started promoting this in the year 2015. We did, and also in 2016, and we conducted seminars for specifically benefit of the MSME across the major cities and small cities across the country. And now, when the new Schedule M came into draft and got finalized, we are working with the government on the similar mission of taking these learnings to the small sector industry, small and medium sector of the industry across all the cities of the country. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. So here is the current schedule of programs IDM is doing along with CDSO and other sister associations within the country. We already completed one on product and process knowledge in Bangalore, pharmaceutical quality system in Bhatti, quality culture in Daman, and this was very interesting that on a single topic of quality culture, we spent one full day with CDSO, joint DCGI, and several other regulators, plus the industry experts and Daman, and we have now 3 more programs in Ahmedabad, Visakhapatnam, and Kolkata. So this is something. It is a very well received initiative, and we are seeing huge participation. Physically, there are 300 to 400 people, and online at least 1,000 plus people join. So the mood in the industry is welcoming Schedule M. Everybody is very eager to learn the concepts of following the PQS, and with this kind of initiative, I'm very, very confident that we are going to achieve to the next level of compliance through PQS sooner than later. Next, please. One last part about senior management responsibility. Senior management's leadership and few do's and don'ts. I just want to remind all of us what we need to do if we want to adopt to the revised schedule and create a pharmaceutical quality system. So Senior management's leadership and strategic choices directly affect the values, priorities, and the day-to-day operations that define the culture of the manufacturing units. Peter Drucker very famously said, "Culture eats strategy for breakfast." So, whatever strategies we have, unless we have created an environment that welcomes such changes, moving from present state to new desired state always has been challenging. So, senior management has the ultimate responsibility and the key responsibility to creating the system and provide that kind of leadership. Next, please. Couple of do's and don'ts. I'm not getting into each bullet point, but at a higher level, senior management is responsible to create a quality mindset, philosophy, and culture. In fact, as we have realized that adoption of a pharmaceutical quality management system is a good business management system. It is proven beyond doubt that adoption of a system has several benefits to business in terms of faster time to reach to market, lesser rejections, lesser losses, and so on and so forth. There are so many because we are focusing on continual improvement all the time adoption of the system. So creating a quality mindset is the responsibility of senior management. Build capabilities of the people in the newer areas required, such as proactive risk assessment, continue, excel in education in pharmaceutical quality system, devise systems and processes that are lean, agile, and simple. Don't create burdensome systems. Create a positive work environment. Deming again here famously said, 85% of the work efficiency comes from the operating systems and from the people in the environment in which they work, and balance comes from own skills. So with 15% skills, with a good environment and a good culture, everybody can contribute to 100% level. That is the message. So creating a good, positive, healthy work environment that is conducive to GMP compliance is part of the responsibility of senior management, and the PQS design and implementation PQS precisely expects that. Couple of don'ts which are there, which initially, very briefly, I was slightly hesitant in not dwelling too much on the negative points, that the blind spots that we have. Couple of blind spots I'm trying to bring out here again, once again, as a don'ts for the management. Next slide, please. Obstacles, again, I use Deming here to my rescue. He says, obstacles that stand in the way of transformation is all fine to commit ourselves to new system, GMP, and all of that. We create system, process, facility, but then there are hidden things that come in our way. And this is an immunity to change. So few things to focus in that there has to be a consensus of purpose. If there is no consensus of purpose from the senior management, if management don't walk the talk, the messages don't become credible. So whatever we start with the good intention, somehow we start losing in between. So it's very important that we maintain consistency in our messaging and in our purpose. You can never ever deviate from our purpose under any circumstances. No emphasis on the short-term gains, not quick fixes, compliance-oriented, inspection-oriented approaches would help. You will have to focus on the long-term, that is system, and we understand that profits follow good products. Performance-based evaluation. This is something I can speak for an hour, but very important message for our industry is that never ever incentivize people for the performance-based evaluation driven by the numbers and KPIs. It has to be leadership-based, because incentivizing the outcomes alone rather than the process adopted to achieve the outcome has always been a weakness of our industry. I think we have to move from there. So don't we ever incentivize quick approval in the GMP certification or a product approval? Those are the steps in achieving our ultimate objective. What we have to incentivize is the leadership development, is the system development, and what sustainability we are creating, what robustness we are creating in our system is what management need to focus. Next, please. Possibly last 2 or 3 slides. Next slide, please. Yes, developing second level leadership for handling this PQS is very, very important. So we need to focus on our future leadership that possesses critical thinking abilities, the art and science of simplification, structured problem solving, risk-based decision making, empowered system thinker. So unless the leadership has these abilities, what we have seen is that our own quality management system that we created a decade ago or 2 decades ago kept on becoming burdensome because of constant tinkering to that to comply with the new requirement. So yes, yeah, thanks.